Welcome to Scripture Made Clear with Victoria. This is a series where we walk through the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, slowly, clearly, and faithfully. Today we are starting at the very beginning, the book of Genesis. What is Genesis? Genesis is not just the first book of the Bible. It is the foundation for everything that follows. Without Genesis, much of the Bible does not fully make sense. Genesis helps us understand who God is, who we are, and why the world is the way it is. The big questions. Genesis answers some of the biggest questions of life. Where did we come from? Why is the world broken? Who is God? And does God have a plan for humanity? These questions are not new. They are as old as humanity itself. The meaning of Genesis. The word Genesis means beginning or origin, but Genesis was not written to answer every scientific question. It was written to reveal the Creator. Genesis tells us that everything begins with God. Who God is. In Genesis, we see that God is eternal, powerful, intentional, and personal. God speaks, and creation responds. Nothing exists by accident. Everything is created with purpose. Major themes in Genesis. Several major themes appear throughout the book of Genesis. First, God as creator. Second, the fall of humanity. Sin enters the world, and with it comes brokenness, pain, and separation from God. But Genesis does not stop there. We also see God's covenant promises. And again we see God's faithfulness. Even when people fail, God remains faithful. The structure of Genesis. Genesis can be divided into two main sections. Chapters 1 through 11 focus on primeval history, creation, the fall, the flood, the Tower of Babel. These chapters explain the condition of the world. Chapters 12 through 50 focus on individual people, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph. Through them, God begins his plan to bless the entire world. Why Genesis still matters. Genesis teaches us that we are created on purpose. It teaches us that sin has consequences, but it also teaches us that God is a God who keeps his promises. The same God who began the story in Genesis is the same God who is still at work today. For closing, as we continue this series, we will walk through Genesis step by step, not rushing, not skipping, but seeking to understand what God is revealing about himself and about us. If you found this helpful, consider subscribing to Scripture Made Clear with Victoria. In the next episode, we'll take a closer look at Genesis chapter 1 and the story of creation. Thank you for being here.